How you guys doing? Welcome back. Today is Thursday, October 14th, 2021. It's a pleasure to have you guys back for the Swingcast. Let's just get right on into it. If you're new here, welcome new kid. It's a pleasure to have you here. I love having the new folks around. If you are brand new, a few things. One, the class is available. The first 38 lessons are up there. Bada boom, bada bing playlist for you. If you actually go through and watch every episode start to finish, which I'm sure most are not going to, but those who really do care about getting better at trading are going to see at the end of every single solitary video is the next video queued up for them in the end credits. So that's really cool for you guys to have. That's a playlist. You can actually probably bookmark that or just make sure you have access to that at all times so you can go back to where you were. I'd hate for y'all to get confused and like, oh, what else was I on? Where was I again? Again, it's all there for you ready to go. Secondly, we're going to talk about technical analysis. I love technical analysis, but again, my trading system, which is different than my trading structure is different than a system. What we're going to talk about is risk management, technical, fundamental, mental analysis, goal setting, macro markets. Can talk about consistency, all these kinds of great things mixed together, and also writing a trading plan. All these kinds of great things mixed together make my trading structure, which is when I put my trading system in to be successful. If you want to use technical analysis, great, but again, it's probably 1/8, 1/6 of what I would do to be massively successful in the stock market. Go check out that class; it's all free. Second is the Discord. You'll get all lessons with that Discord and the Patreon, because I love you. Support me, I support you. With the Discord, we have morning newsletters, which I'll probably show on the screen. We have nightly newsletters. All the plays that you get here are early for them. Live stream, they can come ask me questions. All the sectors and indexes broken down daily. All the plays broken down daily. Everything you may want. We have a system coming out for alerts. It's not an alert system like your basic, like, oh, gold is callouts. But we have live folks in the room talking about plays that have high volatility for day trading. We have swing traders, we have long-term investments, options traders, the Theta 3 are there. Anything you guys may want when it comes to being successful in the market. If you want to just take $1 a day, it's all it costs. It's going to cost you $1 a day to get that next step of stuff. Come check it out. Free until 11/1, absolutely risk-free. Come check me out. I'd love to have you guys come see what's up. If you enjoyed this video and you love what you see with the picks, again, check out right here. Yesterday's calls, a lot are still ready to go. So go check out yesterday's calls as well to see how they're doing. Again, skip through. I don't want you to be in every single chart the whole time. If you hate a chart, like let's say you hate wedge downs and my next play is wedge down, skip it. The chapter notes down below. You can go to the next play. This is not supposed to be start to finish all the way through, but check every chart out and then when we get to the end, hear the outro and then go on about your day. That's fine. Last thing in the description box besides the written out plays, my social media, is my journal. All the calls that I make here, back test me. Call me on my bullcrap. If it's not right, tell me. But the journal, all the entries on my newsletters are listed, and then I exit as I hit price targets and they slow down. So all the strategies that I would use to enter and exit, which are described in that class, are how the journal works. Go check it out. I even have losers on there because I'm not a liar. I like to keep it transparent. So all the plays that I have are there. I'd love for you to come check it out. It'd be fantastic for you to go check out that journal as well. With that being said, I have 8 great stocks today. Let's just jump right into it. Swingcast. Let's go. Pop in lines. Let's go. Such a great saying. First is BRX. What a beautiful horizontal channel. And again, up here, we have obvious slowing down. Now our trend lines are going to be orange dotted and gold dotted. There's none here. This is a horizontal play. Support, white, resistance, orange. This white line that's dotted, this white line that's dotted, in between these two lines is where 70% of volume happens. This is the POC. This is where the most volume will be happening. I don't have the time now to cover 45 minutes of volume profile tool discussion like Tim Allen, but we do in fact have a great video here. Go check that out. It'll help you mightily. If you love volume analysis, you want to cross-reference that with volume profile, you'll thank me later. I can guarantee, don't make very many guarantees here, but I can guarantee volume profile will take your trading to the next level for sure. Free once again. Check it out, because paying for education outright is stupid. Whoever does that's a jerk. I don't gatekeep information. I am built like that. BRX, a great short here. Now again, if we see some life closer, maybe like 23, 27, sure, you can try and go long at this little small support area. but I think it's an obvious short with 2 red. We get 1 more red, we should be good to go. Clearly, we're going to check the EMA lines out as well. But again, you could see a very easy 6% short. And again, if you want to go long here, risking to 3 to 1. Would I go long eventually? Of course. If I'm towards 22 bucks, I'd want to go long anywhere down here. But up here until I see a breakout in more life, I would definitely look to short. We can even zoom in and we can see a nice trend line like this. Looks pretty good, right? If this trend line breaks, we can get out. And again, what is this? It's a rising wedge. Rising wedges break down. This definitely has signs of slowing down here. If it does break down one more little step, I would definitely look to short. Let's check the indicators together. What's so cool about this channel, besides me being a goat, is that we actually don't scan with or check indicators before the show is on. So I don't actually know what the EMA lines are doing. 10, 50, 200. I have no idea what RSI, stochastic, or the vortex are doing. So go through this together. We're looking for trend, momentum, volume, and volatility. We're going to use those things to kind of put the icing on this technical analysis cake. If you're a rookie, you'll see what a veteran sees. I think you'll appreciate it. Let's check it out. What's so cool about this with the EMA lines is that once we break beneath the 10, it's our first true go short signal. And again, we see one more red candle, we'll probably get there. You want to wait for a 10 cross under, that works. But again, that 200, see how we're slightly going up and now we're going horizontal? See how flat this trend is? All three are kind of going flat. That shows not much trend here, no trend line at all. We're going to play off of the support and the resistance. If it starts to angle down, we'll look for a wedge down, because if it does start to die off, you definitely can see some form of possible channel down or wedge down here. But for now, a 10 EMA cross under will be good to short. RSI, it's high, love it. Stochastic is high, love it. No bearish divergence, it all basically checks out. No bullish divergence, it all basically checks out pretty well here. But again, 59 is really high. You want negative 40 to enter, plenty of room to drop down into short. Bull's very high, it doesn't get much higher than this. Bear's very low, don't get much shorter than this. BRX is primed fairly well for a short here. Love what I see. I don't love shorting in a bull market. It is a bull market. It always is until it's not. But I think when it comes to a quick 4 to 5%, BRX makes a whole lot of sense. I would watch list it. I love what I see. Next is GBOX. I don't, in fact, love this support area, but if I zoom out, because that's important, we can see critical area of supports coming in a little bit lower, 554. That's probably a better support area, but we can see anywhere in here has pivotal volume, right? So I don't love the support here, but this trend down is pretty consistent. I mean, it may have to cut through a line or two. Look at this little red dot here. Come on over. We can see it's making a nice wedge down. Sure, I may be a bit aggressive here. If it does break down farther, I would cut quickly. But look, I'm not catching a falling knife, right? Lower lows, lower highs, right? I think we still have another 4 or 5% to dip. GBOX's ATR would line up fairly well with that for a good day, right? Under this volume profile line, money, 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 money. Mr. Krabs' favorite thing down here. I love what I see. I'm not catching a falling knife. I can give it a few days, especially given the fact that before it reverses for GBOX, consolidation. Small consolidation. Look at that. Consolidation. Every reversal has some form of consolidation. I'm not going to enter until I see some green. I want to see just a little bit of green. And guess what? If I miss it, I miss it. On to the next one. It's okay. So GBOX, keep on your radar. I don't think it's the greatest purchase tomorrow per se, but I think in Monday or Tuesday, it'll be primed for a good move. Let's check the indicators and see if it helps show some clarity. 200 is the big resistance. I mean, it was gapped down huge. Major resistance, major support, resistance, 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 and all the way through. So once we get over the 200, you want to wait for that. You're going to have a good old time. But until then, I'm looking at these 10 EMA run-ups. They're not the cleanest. They're okay. I mean, you're not going to have the greatest on this time frame. The 50 is. So sure, you want to wait for a 10 EMA line crossover. Sure, that's a great sign for life. I would also do that. But again, I don't think it's necessary to enter here. I think value is what you're going for. We have value for sure. RSI under 30, love it. Our stochastic is at 58, looks pretty good for negative 58. I don't see any divergences, looks pretty good. No bearish either. Well, we had a small one. See this? Higher high connects to a lower high. That's why I kept going down, right? And again, bulls low, bears high. So GBOX has great value. Sure, you can wait for a 10 EMA crossover. Sure, you can wait for a trend line to hit. I think we're kind of in no man's land here. You want to cross that 10 or you want to be a bit lower. So GBOX should be watch listed because if it's green tomorrow, play momentum. If it's red tomorrow, wait for value. You got both options. For a beginner trader, it's a great setup to kind of watch and feel out. For a veteran, easy money. GBOX, I would definitely watch list. Next is GS. What a beautiful trend up. Goldman Sachs, XLF, of course. Looking good here, looking prime for a breakout, doesn't it? Yes, sir. I also chart that for my patrons, obviously. Is this a channel up? I mean, one could argue it is close. I'd say it's probably closer to a broadening top, which means we're going to eventually have a new pattern forming. And as we can see, that pattern is taking form of a horizontal triangle. I put more weight into the supporting line here, much longer and stronger. But again, I'm playing this breakout. Earnings is coming. Earnings has been strong. It's been a good season so far. If you trade options, you would know it's looking pretty good. GS here, if we get a breakout, fantastic. If it dies, because again, earnings has gone both ways. It's ran up usually to it. We get a breakout tomorrow, easy day trading. If it does really well, easy hold for a long period of time. Goldman Sachs, always going up. It doesn't really have an issue. I mean, it sometimes goes sideways, but again, long term, if you goof up this entry in a year or two, you'll make your money back. That's a nice fail-safe nonetheless. Let's check the indicators together, see what we're seeing. The 200 is interesting. We tap it a lot, so I'm not overly concerned they're tapping a lot right now. The only issue is now we're on the wrong side of it, right? Support, 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 support. Now it's being resistance. Now again, it's getting tighter and tighter for the bears, right? We're again pushing this more often than not. That's a great sign. Tomorrow, if we break over the 200 with the first candle and hold, using that as a stop loss makes complete sense. I think playing the breakout makes sense. And again, if it does die down, buying lower, but I think playing a breakout makes a whole lot of sense here. RSI, it's a bit high. That makes sense. We're showing life. Stochastics, a bit high. No divergence, at least. That's a good sign compared to what we've been seeing before. I mean, you could see a pretty obvious bullish one. I mean, it's there. It's not the greatest to ever exist. But again, that's definitely a bullish divergence, showing us some life. If we come back down and have a bullish bottom again, it'll be better. But again, bulls low, bears high here. I mean, Goldman Sachs, you want to wait for that 200 crossover. We have it. I mean, it's over the 200. You can enter now after hours and probably feel confident and be just fine. But it's earning, so I want to be careful. But once you get over that 200, use that 200 as a stop loss area. You should be good to go, in my opinion. Goldman Sachs should always be on a watch list. I love what I see. Next is HMHC. Hemhick. Looks good, right? I'm smart. This is a great run-up. Again, it's not worth the lot. It's only $13. But look historically. Oh, it was a support. Oh, that was a resistance. Oh, this is a pivotal spot with a breakdown here. Again, so it may not be the most pivotal thing of all time. But again, two gaps here should be a bit concerning for a stop loss. If you don't have a stop loss anywhere below 13 and it does gap down, you're going to be in a world of hurt for months, if not years, or holding a bag. So having a stop loss in this area is critical, in my opinion. Again, it's going up. No true ascending trend line here. But look at making a nice channel. But look at higher lows, higher lows. Bulls are pushing it. Bulls are saying we want action. Bulls want smoke. Bears want none because bears can't push it down. So currently, HMHC, again, a nice ascending triangle. Going up here, if we get a breakout, it could be a great day trade. It could be a great swing trade. We'll see. I would definitely buy into this. We have, again, big red, small green, big green. We're picking up momentum. I love what I see. Even on a smaller scale here, right? We're seeing some great stuff. We're seeing some great life here. I mean, look, you're on smaller scale. Obvious resistance trend line coming in. You break that tomorrow. We're off to the races. I love what I see. Great momentum. It's a great sign of bullish momentum compared to bears losing out. With the indicators, the 200, fairly worthless. Now, if we do break down, look at perfect little tap. Perfect little tap. So we do break down, look to maybe hopefully load up at the 200 and maybe average down. I don't usually approve of this, but if that does hold, it could be a fine way of getting out. The 50 is your go signal. We break over that 50 tomorrow, we're good to go. RSI, it's fair. That makes sense. When it comes to a divergence, I don't really see one. It all checks out. Those are all higher lows, all lower lows. It makes sense. And again, negative 16, fair value, not great. But again, it's in the middle of this pattern. Logical. Bulls low, bears high, room to run up. With positive green momentum, HMHC should see a pretty fantastic day tomorrow, if not into Monday. Again, I wouldn't probably buy many stocks and hold over a weekend for a swing. I'll just wait till Monday morning and play from there. But HMHC, I love what I see. I'd watch this dip. Looks pretty good. Next is IDEX. I don't love hype plays. This does get a lot of fin twit support because of these spikes that it gets. I don't want one of these necessarily. I'd love one, but I think this is really tightening. I mean, it's really coming to a head. We called it over here. It had like a nice 11% run before. We called it before. They made money time we called it, but I mean, it's getting tight. I mean, it's getting lower and lower. Eventually, bulls or bears are going to have to win. I mean, this has to break eventually. I think it's going to go up green soon if the markets look green. And again, this support, why did I choose a support spot? Look at a bunch of old resistances, a bunch of gaps happen here, right? These gaps are all perfect. So again, it's going to be pivotal to you that you have a stop loss eventually, because if it does gap down, you may be thinking it's only $1.90. How low can it go? Zero. You could lose the bag on this one for sure. So having a stop loss is critical. But again, the average price is usually around $3 here. Plenty of room to run up. It should break out eventually. Let's check the indicators. I'm sure the 200 is being a real piece of work. It is. 200 is being your main resistance across the board. Waiting for a 50 cross is fine. Once you get over the 50, you have your best run-ups and your best trades. And again, we are right there. If we see some green tomorrow across that 15 hold, you can go long on that. The 10 crossover is not the greatest thing that ever happened, but again, you get both those, you should have a really good day into next week. RSI, it's a little bit high, but again, we're showing life. When it comes to our divergences, it's fairly clear, isn't it? I mean, to me it is. Look at, we have obvious from over here. Constant higher lows. Higher lows, higher lows. Over here, constant lower lows. So again, this is definitely priming for a bullish move eventually. I mean, do your own charting here, but I think once this line hits this divergence line, I'd be probably a good enter for sure. And bulls is crossed green, not perfect. Bulls is crossed under. So if we don't see any life tomorrow, if we don't actually have volume tomorrow, we may be in trouble. So IDEX, I'd wait for a 50 cross for sure. I don't want to enter too prematurely, because we all know being premature is never a fun thing, gentlemen. So I think that's smart here to wait for a crossover. Once we get that, IDEX is beautiful for sure. I'd watch list it. Next is PAVM. PAVM. Looks pretty good. Look at, I don't like buying falling knives. Check your DD. Why do this? Why you do this? But again, with proper technical analysis, it just boop, bounced right in there. So again, if this holds, fantastic. If you get a full move here, I don't think you're going to get a full move. I'd say probably halfway up the channel, to be fair. But you're risking 3%, and halfway is about 30. It's a 10-to-1. It's a shot in the dark that it holds here. I mean, it's good technically. I mean, it's old resistances become supports. This is an area where it gaps down quickly. See that lack of volume? Quick movement, quick movement, quick movement. A lot of wicks in here. A turn volume profile, I'm sure it's a gap. Wow, who knew? So you have your high volume node here, high volume node here. Everywhere in here is going to be quick movement. So we do hold here. That's a fantastic sign. Maybe you may dip down to $5.96, but you see $6. It's probably fine, because it's going to be a good support here. But you have quick movements. If you can capture that and get a quick movement back up, you should be in a good situation. Easy channel up. I love what I see. Let's check the indicators. Every time we're under the 200, it's a good value. But again, we don't cross it. Tap, 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 tap. Cross it, cross it, cross it. Now these crosses are much more like basket shape, like a cup shape. So I don't love how quick we came down here. But again, we started from former support. I like what I see. 10 crossovers are great. It has great 10 EMA run-ups. I mean, it holds it fairly well. It holds its shape fairly well. Right over here is a perfect one. So, I mean, you want to wait for the 10 to come down. Sure, it may be 4 or 5 days, but that's fine for a watch list. Under 30, great RSI. Last time that happened, printed. Last time it happened, printed. Over here, printed. Good sign. Stochastic, negative 65. I don't see any divergences, but that's fine. No bearish ones at least. And again, bulls low, bears high. I mean, it's a shot in the dark that's going to hold here. That's a huge sell-off. Nothing stopping more selling from happening, but I do love what I see. I think it has great potential here. I want to see what it does. If PAVM has life tomorrow and into Monday, it could be a great find if it stays at this support and then goes back up quickly. Love it. I'd watch list it. Next is SNBR Sleep Number Corporation. Send me a bed. Send me a free bed. Please. I need one. SNBR, give me that free bed money. Again, this resistance trend. I was watching it. We broke out. And now what are we doing? Bump, bump, bump. Return to the scene of the crime, I see. Look at this. That's a really good retest. Even if this wedge down is a fallacy and I was wrong, which I don't think I am, this trend line alone is right where we want to be. Evan, how'd you get that support line? What did you do? Well, I zoomed out, idiot. And we can see that this only other area of support was right here. Right? Only other area of support is right there. It's holding well. So if it does hold here, that's a great sign, right? Otherwise, you may want to get out quickly, risking 5 or 6%. But again, when you get a crossover here, see you later, nice big old rocket. It's holding, retesting this wedge down. I love what I see. Let's check the indicators. Maybe there's a crossover we can play off of. 10 run-ups. Looks clean. Looks pretty clean. I mean, it has pretty good run-ups. This one's pretty choppy. It's pretty okay. Yeah, so I guess you want to wait for a 10 crossover here. You can. That's about 3% of reward given up. That's fine. But be aware that 50 is also resistance, especially that 200. So you're going to give up some profit. You're only going to make about 10% to hit the 200 compared to maybe about 15 here. So you can give up some profit for a 10 crossover, but down here I think it's a fine value. I'd still probably buy in. RSI underneath 30. Great sign over here. Printed. Eventually printed. Made money. So our RSI underneath 30 has been consistent. That's a great sign. I don't see any bullish divergences, only bearish. Again, you have a very tiny one here, but I would consider that anything noteworthy at all. You know, it's close, but I wouldn't consider that one. But again, negative 50, good value. Bulls super low where you want them, bears super high where you want them for a longer term hold. SNBR sleep number, again, send me that free bed. I appreciate that. But again, a fantastic purchase. Great value play. A 10 cross works, but watch out for that 15-200. Those will be resistances. But down here, it's a great value. SNBR on watch list. Last and not least is VLRS. The possible forming of an ascending triangle here, my favorite pattern. We have our resistance trend, which looks like a channel up, but let's break out. Gives me hope that maybe we have some form of an ascending triangle here. Look, if we hold here and go back up, this bad boy is primed to move. This is an old resistance. Became a support. A little bit lower. If we were to enter right about here, a full move of the channel is 25, the triangle is 17. You're risking about 4 to 5. It checks out. Earnings is coming. All right, earnings here. Ran up. Earnings here. Ran up to it, dipped, and then went higher. So we have had 2 green earnings so far. Even over here. Earnings. It's green. So whatever Contra Labradora, whatever they're doing, that's probably why it's not. I don't think it's English. I'm dumb. But whatever they're doing well. So I think this is a nice falling knife. I wouldn't catch this. Look at the bottoms. Consolidate. Right at the bottom here, it consolidates. If we see some green tomorrow, I'll be happy to buy in. Let's check these indicators together. 200 bounce, great value. We're underneath that, good value. You want to wait for a 200 crossover? Makes a lot of sense here. 10 run-ups are clean. Mr. Clean right there, as Young Gravy said. Mr. Clean. These are good run-ups right here. Constantly holds over it. So again, you want to wait for a 10 crossover too. That also works. RSI, it's low. Love it. Our stochastic is low. No divergences. All lower lows, lower highs. But again, good value showing some life. We're going to try and hold this 200. Bulls low, bears high. VLRS, I love what I see. Maybe 20 cents lower. Give me 2% off. I love what I see here. But again, great watch list item. I want to see what it does this week. Looks pretty good to me. And there you guys have it. The last video of the week for watch list. I'll see you guys on Saturday. I got to stretch. Oh, God, it's not a good stretch if you don't scream. I'll see you guys on Saturday for our next video over the sectors and indexes. If you enjoy sector rotation and index analysis, check out my Discord because I do it every morning for people, but also check me out on Saturday. Have a good rest of your guys' week. We'll see you guys then. Thanks.